Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what the most powerful fuel for greatness is? It's not comfort, it's not luxury, and it's not an easy life. The real fuel for greatness is struggle. Because every time life tests you, it's not trying to break you, it's trying to build you. We all carry scars, whether visible or invisible. But those scars are not marks of weakness, they are marks of survival. They remind us that even when life tried to knock us down, we rose again. And every time you rise stronger than before. Ladies and gentlemen, life has an extraordinary way of teaching us lessons, and often those lessons come wrapped in pain, in loss, in failure, and in struggle. But one of the greatest realizations you can ever have is this: your struggles are not punishments, they are preparations. Life is not trying to make you suffer without reason. It is preparing you for something greater, something higher, something that you cannot yet see but will one day look back upon with deep gratitude. When we go through hardships, the first question that arises in our hearts is, why me? It feels unfair, it feels heavy, and it feels endless. But ladies and gentlemen, have you ever thought that perhaps the very struggle you are fighting through is carving out the strength you need for tomorrow? Every delay, every rejection, every heartbreak, and every failure is a preparation for the person you are meant to become. Just like a seed must be buried in the darkness of soil before it can rise towards the light, you too must go through seasons of struggle before you bloom. Think of an athlete preparing for the Olympics. They train in pain, sweat, and exhaustion. They push their limits, sometimes to the point of breaking. To an outsider, this may look like punishment, but to the athlete, it is preparation. Without the struggle of training, there would be no gold medal. The same applies to your life. Every hardship is training you, building your endurance, stretching your patience, and sharpening your vision. What seems unbearable today is silently preparing you for victories you cannot yet imagine. Ladies and gentlemen, struggles often reveal strengths you never knew you had. They teach you resilience when life knocks you down, they teach you courage when fear tries to paralyze you, and they teach you perseverance when everything inside you screams to quit. If life were always easy, you would never know how strong you truly are. It is only when you are tested that your true power emerges. Just like gold cannot shine without going through fire, your character too cannot shine without going through struggle. Many times people misinterpret struggle as a curse, as though life has singled them out for suffering. But if you look closer, you will see that struggle is life's way of elevating you. The most inspiring stories in history were born out of struggle. The leaders who changed the world, the inventors who gave us progress, the dreamers who defied all odds, all of them walked through struggle. They were not punished by life, they were prepared by life. And today, their names are remembered not because of the comfort they lived in, but because of the strength they built through hardship. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine if a butterfly could speak. It would tell you that the most painful moment of its life was struggling inside the cocoon, trying to break free. But it is that very struggle that gives strength to its wings. Without the struggle, the butterfly would never fly. The same is true for you. Your struggles are giving you wings. They are building strength in places you cannot see right now. But one day, you will soar because of them. And so, when you face hardship, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Begin to ask, what is this preparing me for? This simple shift in perspective can transform your entire life. Suddenly, you stop seeing obstacles as barriers and start seeing them as teachers. You stop feeling cursed and start feeling chosen. You stop living as a victim of your struggles and start rising as a student of your struggles. Preparation is never easy. Growth is never comfortable. But every trial, every loss, and every challenge is an investment in your future self. Life knows what it is doing, even when you don't. And when the time comes, you will look back and realize that what felt like the hardest season of your life was actually the season that prepared you for your greatest breakthrough. Ladies and gentlemen, every single one of us carries scars. Some are visible, written on our skin as reminders of battles we fought, and others are invisible, etched deep within our hearts and minds, where no one can see them. Yet whether seen or unseen, these scars tell powerful stories. Too often, people look at their scars as signs of weakness, as reminders of pain, as evidence of where they broke. But the truth is far more beautiful. Scars are not marks of weakness. they are proof of survival. They tell the world that whatever tried to destroy you did not succeed. They whisper the story of your strength, your courage, and your resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, scars are symbols of victory. When you see a scar, it does not say, I was hurt. It says, I healed. It does not say, I was defeated. It says, I overcame. Think about it. If you had not survived, there would be no scar. The scar exists only because you lived through the pain, endured the trial, and came out the other side stronger than before. Your scars are silent trophies, awarded not by the applause of others, but by the very experience of surviving what once seemed impossible. The world often teaches us to hide our scars, to cover them up as though they are something to be ashamed of. But scars are nothing to hide. They are everything to honor. They are proof that life tested you and you did not quit. They are reminders that storms passed, but you remained standing. They are evidence that you are stronger than the pain that tried to break you. Instead of seeing scars as ugly, see them as beautiful roadmaps of your journey. They are marks of wisdom, courage, and strength. Consider a soldier returning from battle. The scars on their body are not viewed as weaknesses. They are medals, visible evidence of their bravery and endurance. The same is true for you. Whether your scars come from heartbreak, loss, failure, or trauma, they are not symbols of where you were weak. They are symbols of where you were strong enough to survive. Ladies and gentlemen, every scar tells a chapter of your story, and those chapters are worth celebrating, not hiding. So many people believe that scars diminish them, but in reality, scars deepen them. They add weight to your story. They add authenticity to your character. People are inspired not by perfection, but by survival. When you show your scars, you are showing the world that healing is possible, that strength is real, that courage lives inside every broken heart. Your scars may be the very thing that gives someone else the hope to keep going. Never underestimate the power of your survival story. Ladies and gentlemen, scars are also reminders that healing is possible. The wound you thought would never close eventually became a scar. At the time, you may have believed the pain would last forever, but now, every time you see that scar, you are reminded that even the deepest wounds can heal. And if your past wounds healed, then so will the ones you carry now. Scars are hope in physical form. They whisper to you, you've been here before and you survived. You can survive again. Think of a tree struck by lightning. For a while, it may look broken, scarred, even lifeless. But over time, it continues to grow, the scar on its bark becoming part of its story. That scar does not stop the tree from reaching toward the sky. In fact, it becomes a symbol of resilience, proof that even nature itself survives and thrives through adversity. You, too, are like that tree. Your scars are not there to hold you back, but to remind you of how far you've come. Ladies and gentlemen, scars are strength disguised as memory. They are the evidence that life tried to bring you to your knees, and you stood up again. They remind you of the fire you walked through and the storms you survived. They are not there to make you feel ashamed, but to make you feel proud. Because without those scars, you would not be the person you are today. They shaped you, they molded you, and they prepared you for the journey ahead. Your scars are not signs that you are broken. They are signs that you are a fighter. And fighters do not quit. Fighters do not surrender. Fighters rise. Ladies and gentlemen, every person carries within themselves a reservoir of strength, a depth of courage, and an ocean of resilience they do not even know exists until life pushes them to the edge. You will never truly discover what you are capable of by living in comfort or ease. It is only when you face challenges, when life places you in situations that seem unbearable, that you begin to uncover the power that was lying dormant inside you all along. Challenges are not meant to show you how weak you are. They are meant to reveal how strong you can be. When everything in your life is smooth, you have no reason to stretch yourself, no reason to fight harder, no reason to dig deeper. But when challenges come, when the storms rage and the weight of the world sits on your shoulders, you suddenly find yourself reaching into a strength you never knew was there. That hidden strength becomes visible only in the fire of struggle. It is like a muscle that grows only when it is tested, only when it is pushed, only when it is stretched beyond its limits. Your inner strength is the same. Without challenges, it stays hidden, asleep. But when life tests you, you awaken that part of yourself that says, I will not give up, I will not be broken, I will rise. Ladies and gentlemen, think about the moments in your life when you thought you couldn't go on, yet somehow you did. Remember the nights when you cried, believing the pain would never end, yet today you are still standing. In those moments, you discovered strength that you did not even know you possessed. That is what challenges do. They push you to a point where you meet the strongest version of yourself, the version that only comes alive when everything seems to fall apart. A challenge is not the end of your story. It is the unveiling of who you really are. Without challenges, you might believe you are fragile, but when you walk through fire and come out whole, you realize you are unbreakable. Without challenges, you might believe you're ordinary, but when life throws its heaviest burdens on you and you carry them, you realize you are extraordinary. Challenges reveal a side of you that even you didn't know existed. They expose the fighter in you, the dreamer in you, the survivor in you. They show you that you are stronger, braver, and tougher than you ever imagined. Ladies and gentlemen, if life never demanded courage from you, how would you know that courage lived within you? If life never tested your patience, how would you know that patience was one of your strengths? If life never challenged your perseverance, how would you know that perseverance flows in your veins? Challenges are the mirrors that reflect your hidden qualities back to you. Without them, you would walk through life unaware of the treasures you carry inside your own soul. And it is not just about discovering strength, but about becoming stronger through the process. Every challenge adds another layer of resilience, another layer of wisdom, another layer of courage. You grow with every obstacle. The person who survives one storm is not the same as the one who entered it. They walk out transformed, tougher, and more prepared for the next challenge life may bring. That is why challenges are not to be feared, but embraced, because they are the gateways to your growth. Ladies and gentlemen, life is like a mountain climb. At the base, the air is comfortable, the path is smooth, and everything feels easy. But the higher you climb, the thinner the air becomes, the harder the terrain gets, and the more your body aches. Yet, it is only at the peak that you experience the breathtaking view. The challenge of the climb is what reveals the strength in your lungs, in your legs, in your spirit. Without the mountain, you would never discover how high you could go. Without challenges, you would never know how far you could rise. So when difficulties come, do not see them as punishments. See them as opportunities to meet the stronger version of yourself. See them as invitations to awaken the courage that lies hidden in your heart. See them as training grounds for the greatness that lies ahead. Every challenge you face is evidence that life believes you are capable of more than you think. And when you come out on the other side, you will realize that the challenge was never there to defeat you, but to introduce you to the strongest, bravest, and most resilient version of yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, life has never promised us clear skies and endless sunshine. Every one of us, no matter how strong, successful, or prepared we may think we are, will face storms. Storms of disappointment, storms of failure, storms of loss, storms of uncertainty. And in those moments, it is so easy to tell ourselves, I will be happy when this is over. I will live my life when the storm has passed. I will chase my dreams when the skies are clear again. But ladies and gentlemen, storms are not meant to stop your life. They are meant to teach you how to keep living even when the rain is falling. You cannot put your life on pause until things become perfect, because life was never designed to be perfect. The true art of living is not in waiting for the storm to end, it is in learning to dance in the rain. When storms arrive, they often shake everything you thought was secure. They take away your comfort, they disrupt your plans, they test your patience. And it is in those moments that many people give up, believing that they cannot move forward until the storm has passed. But the truth is, the storm is not your enemy. The storm is your teacher. It teaches you resilience, it teaches you flexibility, it teaches you joy in the midst of chaos. If you can learn to find peace in the storm, then no storm will ever have the power to control your life again. Dancing in the rain is not about denying the storm. It is not about pretending that the wind does not blow or the thunder does not roar. Dancing in the rain is about acknowledging that yes, the storm is real, but so is your courage, so is your joy, so is your determination to live fully, no matter the circumstances. Anyone can smile when the sun is shining, but strength is proven when you can smile while the rain pours. Anyone can be grateful when everything is going their way, but true faith is tested when you can still give thanks in the middle of the storm. Ladies and gentlemen, the storm will not always pass quickly. Sometimes it lingers. Sometimes the rain falls for days, weeks, even years. If you choose to wait for the storm to end before you start living, you may spend your entire life waiting. But if you choose to live now, to find reasons to laugh, to keep moving forward, to find beauty in the storm itself, then you will not just survive the storm, you will thrive in it. You will discover a freedom that no circumstance can take away from you. Think of the child who runs outside when it rains, laughing, splashing in the puddles, dancing as though the rain is a gift. That child is not waiting for the sun to return in order to find joy. They are finding joy in the very thing others run from. That is the spirit we must embrace. Life will always bring us moments we did not ask for, moments we did not plan, moments we did not want. But if we can shift our perspective and see even the storm as part of the journey, we can learn to dance instead of despair. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a kind of strength that only emerges when you refuse to postpone your happiness until circumstances improve. When you wake up each day and decide, I will live fully today, no matter what, you claim your power back from the storm. You declare that your joy is not at the mercy of the weather, that your peace is not dependent on perfect conditions. You create a life where hope, gratitude, and courage shine even when the skies are dark. And in doing so, you inspire others who are trapped in fear to rise and dance as well. The storms will come, but they will also go. The rain will fall, but eventually it will stop. Life is made up of seasons, and nothing lasts forever. But what matters most is not how long the storm stays. It is how you choose to live while it is here. If you hide, you lose precious time. If you wait, you lose opportunities. But if you choose to dance, you gain strength, you gain wisdom, and you gain the unshakable joy of knowing that nothing, not even the fiercest storm, can steal your spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, life often hands us situations we never asked for. A sudden loss, a painful failure, a betrayal we didn't see coming, a roadblock in the middle of our dreams. In those moments, our first instinct is to resist, to cry out, to wonder why life seems unfair. Trials are heavy, they are exhausting, and they can break even the strongest among us. But what if I told you that every trial you face carries something within it that you cannot yet see? What if behind the pain, behind the tears, behind the sleepless nights, there is a hidden gift waiting for you? The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, every trial carries a hidden gift, and though it may not be revealed immediately, in time you will understand why that struggle was placed in your path. When you are in the middle of a trial, it feels like nothing good can come out of it. All you see is the storm, all you feel is the weight, all you know is the pain. But hidden inside that very trial is growth, strength, wisdom, and opportunity. Life never wastes a trial. If you are going through one, it means there is something to be gained, something to be learned, something to be discovered. That trial is shaping you, molding you, and preparing you for a future you cannot yet comprehend. It may look like a curse, but in time you will realize it was a blessing in disguise. Ladies and gentlemen, think about the seed buried deep underground. From the outside, it looks like darkness, suffocation, and struggle. Yet within that process, the hidden gift is growth. Without the pressure of the soil and the struggle to push upward, the seed would never transform into a plant. The same is true for your life. Trials may bury you for a season, but hidden within that season is your transformation. The pain you feel now may be the very thing that forces you to rise higher than you ever imagined. Every trial also carries the gift of perspective. It teaches you what truly matters. Many times we chase after things that have no real value, and it is only through trials that we come to appreciate the blessings we once overlooked. A season of loss teaches you gratitude for what remains. A season of failure teaches you humility and resilience. A season of betrayal teaches you the importance of trust and loyalty. Trials strip away the unnecessary so that you can see the essential. That is the hidden gift, clarity. Trials also bring the gift of empathy. When you suffer, when you cry, when you endure pain, you gain a deeper understanding of the struggles of others. That empathy becomes a bridge between hearts, allowing you to comfort, to uplift, to guide those who walk a similar path. Your trial becomes a testimony that helps someone else keep going. The very pain that once made you feel alone becomes the reason someone else feels understood. That is a gift more valuable than gold. Ladies and gentlemen, another hidden gift within trials is strength. The challenges you overcome today make you stronger for the battles of tomorrow. Every time you get up after falling, every time you choose to keep going despite the odds, you build an inner strength that no one can take away from you. Strength is never handed to you. It is forged in the fire of trials. And though you may not see it while you are hurting, one day you will look back and realize the gift of endurance that trial gave you. The hidden gift may also come in the form of new direction. Sometimes life closes a door through trials to guide you toward a path you were meant to take all along. A failed dream may lead to a bigger one. A lost job may lead to a new opportunity. A broken relationship may lead you to discover your own worth. At the time, the trial feels like destruction, but in reality, it is redirection. The hidden gift is that you are being steered toward the life you were truly meant to live. Ladies and gentlemen, no trial is meaningless. Behind every tear is wisdom. Behind every setback is strength. Behind every loss is growth. Every trial you endure is a messenger carrying a gift. And while it may take time for you to unwrap it, trust that the gift is there. The storms you are facing today are not empty. They are filled with treasures that will serve you for a lifetime. Ladies and gentlemen, greatness is not created in comfort. It is not born in soft pillows, easy choices, or safe routines. Greatness is forged in the fire, under the weight of pressure, in the crucible of life's toughest trials. Diamonds are formed under immense pressure. Gold is purified only in scorching fire. And in the very same way, strong souls, resilient spirits, and extraordinary leaders are created in the furnace of adversity. If life has placed you under pressure, if you feel the heat of challenges pressing against you, know this. It is not to destroy you, but to refine you. Your greatness is being shaped in the very moments you find hardest to endure. Ladies and gentlemen, pressure has a way of revealing what is hidden within. Just as coal transforms into diamond only under pressure, your true potential, your hidden brilliance, emerges only when life weighs heavily on you. Without pressure, coal remains just coal. Without challenges, many people remain ordinary. But when the weight comes, when the fire rages, when life demands more from you than you think you have, that is when your greatness begins to surface. The fire does not create weakness, it burns away everything that is not essential, leaving only strength, courage, and resilience behind. When you think of the world's most inspiring people, their greatness was not born in seasons of ease. Their greatness was revealed in their darkest hours. It was pressure that taught them persistence. It was fire that revealed their faith. It was trials that forced them to rise above limitations. If their lives had been simple, their stories would not inspire us today. It is because they endured the fire that we see the shine of their gold. And the same is true for you. The challenges you face today are not evidence that you are weak. They are proof that you are in the process of becoming strong. Ladies and gentlemen, many people fear pressure and fire. They see them as threats, as punishments, as unfair burdens. But the perspective must shift. Pressure and fire are not there to end you. They are there to prepare you. Just as a blacksmith heats metal to shape it into a weapon, life heats your soul to shape you into who you were destined to be. The fire is painful, yes, but it is purposeful. The pressure feels unbearable, yes, but it is essential. Without it, you would never reach the greatness that is waiting inside you. When you face pressure, you are being invited to grow. When you walk through fire, you are being invited to transform. The very heat that threatens to consume you is the same heat that purifies you. Think of gold in its raw form, impure, mixed with elements that diminish its value. Only by passing through fire does gold emerge refined, shining, precious. The same is true for you. Life's fire removes the impurities of doubt, fear, and insecurity. leaving behind the strength, wisdom, and clarity of your true self. Ladies and gentlemen, pressure and fire also teach you resilience. They show you that you can endure more than you thought possible. They reveal that your capacity is far greater than you believed. Every time you endure the fire, every time you withstand the weight, you rise stronger than before. The next storm no longer shakes you as the last one did, because the fire has already taught you endurance. The next mountain no longer looks impossible, because the pressure has already shown you how high you can climb. This is how greatness is born, not in escaping challenges, but in embracing them and allowing them to shape you. The truth is, nobody becomes great without scars. Nobody becomes great without nights of pain, seasons of loss, or moments of breaking. But those who embrace the fire, those who refuse to let pressure crush them, those who rise again after being burned, these are the ones who discover greatness. The world may only see the shine of the diamond, but you will always know the weight of the pressure that created it. The world may admire the beauty of gold, but you will always remember the fire that purified it. And that story, your story, becomes your strength and your inspiration to others. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are walking through fire today, do not lose heart. If you feel the weight of pressure pressing down on your shoulders, do not think it is the end. It is not the end. It is the process. The very process that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. The very process that takes your pain and turns it into power. The very process that molds your struggles into strength. Remember, greatness is not born when life is easy. Greatness is born in pressure and fire.